Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the road trip. It's on DWTT, and we'll be back in a sec. But for now, chill. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the road trip. I'm DWTT, and this is my man, Mr. Tom. How you doing?
Greetings, Gary. Hello, everyone, especially to BX Hunter, who I see was in earlier today.
Yeah, I see his message, and for some reason, it's not popping up on this side. I think because it's before we gone live. So, do you see you there, BX Gunner? But I can't push it on through this interface. I guess it's only when we go live can I see the messages. But we know you're there. We know you're there. Welcome to the show. Yeah, yeah. So people I think on YouTube can see it, but we can't see it on the back here. But that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, let's get into it. I guess. Um, what do you want to talk about first, Mister Tom? I'll let you drive for a little bit.
I think any Nottingham Forest fans did would be upset if we not mention the major upset that took place this afternoon or
Yeah,
lunchtime in the morning for you.
as we were talking about it last night, me and you were on. We were on the stoop, and we kind of hang out afterwards in the back room, and went pretty late. Especially, it's late for you. It's late. It was just late evening for me, but it was morning for you. And we're like, we should probably get some sleep so we can get rested and be ready for the show today. I actually wanted to get up and watch that match just to see it. I mean, I remember mentioning it either on one of the shows I did. Nottingham Forest is they for me they look like a good team. They just haven't been playing well. Defense is showing, and listening to what they talked about and talking to the manager, it sounds like they decided, you know what, I think we're going to have to up our defense, play a better game defensively, being one of the worst teams in the league, and they did. They did that, and Big's gonna. Yep, we see your message here. Big's gonna welcome, and we hopefully should have some more friends joining us in a bit, and we'll say hi to them. And yeah, now you know what? If you, I watched the game, and so I don't know what you thought about the game, Mister Tom. If you did, you get to see it. I guess is the first question.
I don't have the channel days on, but I'm going to defer to you having watched it. But the impression I got was that Liverpool without Thiago are not as good as Liverpool with Thiago.
Yeah, you know what? That is true, and I guess that's not where my eyes are going. I guess, but that is definitely the case, and I know that's been an issue for a lot of Liverpool fans that their midfield is just they just don't have enough. Like Thiago's good, but they need more. I mean, I believe he's getting old, if I recall. I think that's the thing about Liverpool; they are getting old in their prime in their crucial spots where they've had a lot of really good players, and it's hurting them now. The one thing I did notice, like I said, is I know Liverpool was without. I think they were without Nunez, without of course Diaz, of course Jota's out until probably until after World Cup. So three attackers out of the match, but they still have a Salah, and Salah did have some opportunities, and Virgil Van Dijk actually had a couple of he had a couple opportunities as well to score in this match. So it wasn't as if they didn't have the chances. They just weren't able to finish, or it was a good defensive play behind, on the shot that they took. So really good game from Nottingham. The first, I think I watched the first half. I was like, ooh. I think Virgil Van Dijk had a header from probably about 5 or 6 feet out, and instead of trying to go to the far corner, he went for a cross to Firmino, and it was off, and the opportunity was lost there. He also had a header late in the second half in a massive in the middle of the box. There was a lot of craziness going on, and he was able to put the header down really low, and Henderson was able to get a hand on it and push it out. So those are two things that stuck in my mind. See some more people in the chat, and I'll let you have a little bit of say. But of course, we are joined by our buddy Why Not has joined us with his famous intro. Arteta out, Arteta the out. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
So he's not impressed. I don't know what else what can you do? The man's won 13 out of 14 matches to start a season. I don't know what more you want us to do. Enjoy the ride.
I should have won 14 out of 14.
Yeah, me too. I would have liked that too, but we can't all be perfect. You know, we are human.
Not good enough, Gary. It's not good enough.
Yeah, why not just join the ride? Enjoy this fun. You know, you never know; it might end tomorrow, right? Then you'll get what you want, and you'll be even more upset, right? So there we go. We've got BX Gunner. All things considered, this team knocked us out of the cup more than once. Yeah, well, yeah. The last time we played them, they knocked us out. They looked really good. I want to say we looked poor, but they took it to us, and Spence got a new gig out of it, right? Even though he's sitting on the bench on his new gig at that team. So, but yeah, I think we play them next, right? We play them next weekend. So we're on this revenge tour. Tomorrow we play Southampton. You guys play Fulham. So, you know, so we'll talk about that as we get along with the show. Yeah. Why not? He's got his list that he wants out as well. Arteta out, you know, Edu out, Vanai, Garlic in the bin. Yeah, I don't know how you can say that. We've got like what 3 or 4 of the top like youngsters in the world that people would like to probably have their hands on. So yeah, why not hang out with us, man? Take this road trip and enjoy it. You know, it will end as they always do. You just want to be able to enjoy it. The Assembled has joined us. Welcome to the show, The Assembled. Um, Mo Salah is a Bamiyang in disguise. I can't say that as much because I don't think he was as poor as as a Bamiyang was for us, anyways. But he's not the Salah of old for sure. But they are not Liverpool of old either. Mr. Tom, I know I've been rambling on here.
Well, Liverpool fans see this, don't be too concerned because you'll get the punch up on Leeds next Saturday night, and I'm pretty sure it will play out significantly differently. Enjoy the trip.
Or Leeds fans, if you're listening, because some of you do listen to us, Liverpool is for the taking. As we saw today, City will give you opportunities to score. You just have to take it and be clinical in it. Guess what? Liverpool will give you chances to score. You need to take it. I don't know how often Forest got opportunities today, but when they did get one, they put it away. Yeah. So I say it goes both ways. I say it goes both ways. So Leeds, if you're listening, you need to wake up. Liverpool is there for you. They could be your stepping stone to finish off the this first half of the season.
And all the work they put in last week against Man City, and it was for nothing. Because they took the win against Man City and they've thrown that away. I know football don't work like that, but they might as well have lost last week. Won today, they'd be in the same position. I know Man City, they took points off City, I get that, but it was a strange game. Very strange game.
Well, it shows you the mentality of, like, not necessarily the mentality, but the way football works mentally. right? You're playing City at home. Wow, bang, you come out playing really good. But I think also you got to remember they did lose some players from that match. So it's not exactly the same team, but it should be a team that should be able to compete. But this is not the Liverpool we saw the last, 4 or 5 years. So there you go. And as people have said over and over and over again, anybody can beat anybody in the Premier League. It's just got to be your day. And sometimes you have to make it your day. And I think Forest made it their day today. They came out with a plan, stuck to it, and did a good job. Did a good job. And BX with probably his first nicety of the day in terms of saying something to the people. Hello.
Hey, he's always nice to everyone except his own club.
That is true. That's right. That's right. He's got his friends that do not wear the Arsenal shirt, or we walk into the Arsenal offices for sure. Ozo did less than Aubameyang. Respect the captain. No, that is true. That is true. Aubameyang was always playing. He just wasn't the man we thought who he was.
Yeah.
Riddy has joined us. Riddy, welcome. Riddy, now you can smile. I'm expecting a lot from you today. If I don't, then I'm really going to be disappointed. So I hope you have a lot saved up for us today, because your favorite team played today and had a wonderful result, at least in your eyes, right? So I would expect a lot.
For them,
well, no, I mean for Riddy.
For him, it must be Christmas at the moment. Christmas came early.
Yeah. Let's see what he has to say here. And the voice of, yes, it's that time. I am the voice of the trip to the Champions League. So, yep, this is the ride. You just got to try to get somebody's got to push why not on this trip with us. He just doesn't want to get on. He keeps thinking about stepping on and steps back off again. Just watches as the bus pulls away from the curb. Come on, dude, take a ride with us. You can get off later if you need to, but you should come on while the going's good and we're moving along. And Tom is the voice of football.
It's a lot nicer than I thought it'd be.
See, Riddy's in a good mood. Like I said, the Scousers have lost today, and he can't be all but happy about it. All right. For those in the chat, welcome to the show. This is the road trip. We will pretty much talk about anything today. We'll talk about our teams, of course. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yeah. And then we'll talk about what else is going on in the football world as well. Look who joined us as well. Here we go. A couple more people joined us. Welcome to the show. Arsenal Misfit has joined us. We are doing well. You're doing well, Mr. Tom?
It's about 84% better than Monday, I'd say.
There you go. That's just get better each day. That's all we ask, right? So that's all I ask. Ray has joined us as well. Big up there, Ray. And the assembled.
I like Ray.
Yeah, Ray's all right. He's all right, as they say, as the kids say. He's all right. And the assembled with a question. I guess I can answer it, but Tom can answer it too, because I know he's got thoughts. His brain works. So do you think Saka will be rested tomorrow as he has an injury also, but no one knows how serious it is? What do you think?
Well, I'm deferring the assemble because I didn't know he had an injury, but if that's the case, or assuming that that's actually true, then I imagine in your position you won't start him, but if the game is going where you might need that injection of pace, then it may turn out that he will enter the fray as such.
Yes,
because I don't think you're in a situation where you need to keep winning, obviously, but at the risk of losing him more long term, probably be more damaging as opposed to just one match. I know you can't look further than one match. I get that, if you say like you were losing, you chucked him on. No, chucked him on. Sorry, you start him and he aggravates injury, and then you do end up losing or not getting a result. You'd be more annoyed because you'd be like, why didn't you just rest him for a week?
Very true. Yeah, no, I see it through, I guess, a couple of lenses there, because Arteta is looking at, he wants to win, and if he's healthy enough to play, he'll play him, because more than likely he won't play midweek. Right? And we're playing PSV, and we just beat them, so we are 5 points ahead of them right now, and if we're able to pull out a draw against them, then I think we win the group, I believe. So we're just 1 point away from that in the group, and then we don't have, and then he doesn't play for 2 midweek games in that case. So I have a feeling that Ted, if he's going to play him, we'll play him on the weekend and let him rest, because I think we should be able to get a draw with him on the sidelines. But yeah, like you said, we don't need to push it, but Arteta doesn't. He said just what the other day. Players like Saka play 50, 70 games in a season, so that's just the way it works. So, but we'll see. I hear you. I would not be surprised if I'd be more surprised if he doesn't play, because of the way we've actually done this thing.
I'm only worried about Saka's health, right? That's my main concern. Okay, I don't care about your club. I don't care about your results. Just, I'm a humanitarian of the year, all right?
I hear you.
So, come back safely, Bukayo, yeah?
Yeah.
Is what his mum would say.
I hear you. Yeah. No, it's I think he got a knock towards the end of the game, and they pulled him out. He kind of was limping a little bit. So they pulled him out. But
Who's this
we've
guy
seen
on Twitch?
Oh, that's just the owner of the channel there. So
I'm live on Twitch.
You are live on Twitch. You've been live on Twitch for a while now. So.
Oh no, I need to sort my hair out on Twitch, baby.
You've always been live on Twitch since this channel, since we moved to this new format. You've always been on Twitch. So sorry if you didn't know.
I'm surprised I've not actually banned off Twitch. I know their terms of service. Well, you can't with breaking news.
I hear you. And as Reddy said, he spotted Stevie Gerrard, Stevie G, as some call him, at the Sally Oak Job Center. Yeah, man. Some people, the man
was
likes
selling
to work.
hubcaps. So.
Yeah. Some say he. I don't know if he did. He make. Do you think he left? Is Scotland? Is it? Do you think he left Scotland? Is it Scotland, right? It is Scotland, right?
Yeah. He was at Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah. You think he left too soon?
No.
Too early? Or did he just pick the wrong? Go ahead.
I think he had to take that chance, because realistically, right? The best way of putting it is realistically, he won the title. He got them through the group stages of, admittedly, the secondary competition of Europe, sort of thing, and the only way was down, and his stock would have been a lot lower had he failed in Scotland than failing at Villa. And that seems bad now, but if he'd have finished second in Scotland, then finished second again, and got knocked out of Europe in like the group stage or whatever, he would have looked infinitely worse than winning the title and then going to England. I mean, there are people who are going to say what you said, like he left too early, and that's fine. Because again, I don't really give a shit about him or what he does or whatever, but I can understand why he would have left. Because realistically, what hasn't worked? All he had to do was stay in that job longer than Klopp stayed in his job. He just had to outlast Klopp, and he'd have been the Liverpool manager instantly. Whereas now that's going to be a lot harder for him. Well, not necessarily. Could probably just make him the manager anyway. But
I hear you. And why not? The bus is always in service, my man. It's always in service. It might be a bumpy ride, might be a smooth ride, fast, slow, but the bus is always in service. Don't worry. Don't worry. Every day we are here. We'll talk to you. So no, don't have to worry about that. And we'll get some comments that we'll get back to there. But yeah, no, I think even if he did outlast Klopp, I still don't think that would have been the best move for him to move to Liverpool. Because
it's the move he wants.
Yeah, it's a move he wants, but he did not. It wasn't as if he was getting the best out of the team he had, and it isn't as if the team he had didn't have actually quality players on there. It wasn't as if they weren't going out there getting, they went out there and got players that we were looking at, right? I mean, I think Coutinho, everybody was a little surprised with that move. Yeah,
they have money, but no way putting it together.
But I mean, they have quality players on there that if you can get something out of them, then you'll be happy about it, right? So I don't believe that he was held back because I think the team backed him. He just needed to make it work with what he had, and they've got quality players there, right? I mean, Buendia, they got Coutinho. I mean,
they're just not very good as a team. They're not.
That's his job. But that's his job. He's playing with much better players than he had at Rangers, and he's got them playing worse football. That can't be. And I'm not there are results. There's difference between results and the way they're performing, right?
It would have been interesting to see his abilities Rangers team. And what would have happened? I mean,
his Rangers team, but his Rangers team would have played like 11v11, right? It'd have looked like a team playing against, a team playing against what looks like not a team in Villa, right? So, yeah, I think that's the difference. He needed to find the formula that works for the players that he has. I always say that, but in this case, I think that's true. Because he had, we saw some positives from them when Coutinho first joined, right? We did see they did look like, this might work for them. He had a string of games, and it didn't last, but he did look like that was going to be a plus for them. Buendia, I don't think has been hitting on all cylinders like they wanted it to. I'm trying to think who else they have on their team.
But he couldn't play Coutinho and Buendia at the same time because they're both a similar sort of player.
Yeah.
And he obviously went with his mate.
True. Very true.
It'd be interesting to see what happens with Coutinho now that his mate is not there. A bit like when Carlo Ancelotti left Everton, and I'm forgetting his name. Rodriguez. Am I forgetting the right name?
Is that a striker?
He played for Everton when Ancelotti was there, and as soon as Ancelotti left,
he was a striker, right, or forward? He was forward for them, right? Chicharito, right? Is that
no,
attacking midfielder?
He's Colombian. James Rodriguez. That was it.
James, okay.
Yeah. Basically, as soon as his mentor, mate, whatever you want to call it, left, he couldn't wait to get out. So I could see a similar thing happening.
true. Huh.
I
Yeah.
should
Well.
also mention, sorry, just quickly,
Yeah.
it's now been about 46 minutes since Erling Haaland scored. Fraud. To make that joke every week. Fraud.
That's true. That's true. And
Absolute
I
fraud.
think there was a comment here. So, and yeah. No, I mean, it looked like it could have been a really, it could have been a really good match, at least entertaining. In terms of maybe City loses this one, or at least drops points.
I like the logic that because Brighton scored, City are shaky. I
Hey,
mean,
you gotta
I know
find.
Ray
You
really,
gotta find. You got.
don't really mean. I know he don't. Before Ray was furiously tapping. That's what I meant. I know that's not what you meant, but it was there to be said. So,
Hey,
but
it shows it shows a chink in the armor. All right, it's a really small chink, but it's in there. You just gotta find it, and
if you score
Brighton.
one goal by us, you'll only lose by 2.
Hey, you score one, maybe you don't lose at all, because maybe they don't score because they have shown that they can be shut out. Goes both ways, buddy.
Yeah, I know it happened twice in a row. That's probably only 2 times happened in like the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Or so.
Hey, it happened. You know what? Those are the chinks, man. We saw it last season. We saw the chinks in the Liverpool armor. This season, we're seeing chinks all over the place. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think I think that City match can be attributed to maybe I think three decisions that kind of went. Two of them went against. Two of them went against Brighton.
Though.
Yep.
The one thing to say about a certain Norwegian football that played for Man City today. For our stat fans out there, his first goal today meant that he equalled the total of Gareth Southgate's total goals scored in the Premier League, and it took him 415 less games to do it. So there you go.
Yeah, that's not. I guess that's not really saying much, is it?
I believe, if I could be wrong, but I believe Southgate was a defender.
Yeah, so I think that might
He was a
be
good
really
defender, though. He was solid. Like, I'll give him his due. He was solid, but obviously not for a goal scorer.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and sorry, I'm just moving some windows around on my my computer here. So, no, I was going to say there were three decisions made in this match, which I think are pretty interesting. That could have gone different ways, and maybe the game goes a different way. It could have been it was a blowout, anyways. Most would say, but it could have been worse. The first one was Haaland comes through the middle. I think the goalkeeper, clips his leg, and he goes down. Nothing's called. And then later on, Haaland, there's a long pass from Allison, and goalkeeper comes out, misses. Defender's there. There's a collision between the defender and Haaland. You know who wins. And as Ray said, he got hit in the ribs, but the defender goes down, and then Haaland scores. Then the third decision, Silver is running, goes running through the box. Defender, I think, misses him, but he leaves a leg. He sticks his leg out to the left. It's pretty clear it's out to the left. Drags his leg, whatever you want to call it. Goes down. Penalty kick. Haaland 2-0. Match should be over at that point, right? So, they were able to get a goal back to make it 2-1, but I think at that point their luck had run out.
I want him to score so many goals that when he turns up against Leeds on December 26th, he feels like he's already scored too many and needs to lighten up a bit.
True.
But he won't, because he's a robot. And I know that he's a remorseless scoring machine. I know this. I'm just hoping that the small bit of humanity in him is like, I can't do this
the
to
fact
my
that
boys.
he's scoring so much is that, you know, if he's coming into that match having scored, as you said,
Yeah.
maybe not necessarily he gets tired, but the law averages say it just might not be his day. So, and you
Yes,
might be the team to stop him.
exactly.
So there you go.
We're
So
not,
you'll be,
but yeah, but hopefully.
yeah, yeah. And as
I
Ray
love my
says here,
team,
we
but
can't.
I'm realistic, man.
Yeah, we can't take Southampton lightly. It's not that we can't take them lightly as much as they can't expect, you know, they can't expect a little us considering them a bogey team anymore. And I think that's the other part. Some of us keep saying a bogey team, and I keep saying we're not that same Arsenal either. So it's not as much a bogey team as it was last season. So we need to come out and play the way we have in the past. Whoever we play with, that's gonna make, doesn't really, we have a good 13, 14 players that we can start. So um, Southampton last season, and as I said before, it's time for a another revenge, right? This weekend's another part of our revenge tour. Yeah, definitely. If the players should come out remembering how that match went last season and come out with a, no, that's not us. Yeah. All right, BX. So it sounds like you'll be in and out. So that's cool. If you can listen to us, we'll take it. We shall take it. And as I've been saying, as Ray has said here as well, Jesus, in that PSV game looked promising in terms of what we saw against Leeds, and looks like he's ready to put the ball in the net. So, yeah, the Haaland penalty shout reminded me of Erdegaard versus City on New Year's Day. I'm trying to remember what that.
I think BX needs to stop smoke and helping his buddy at the same time with his.
All right, so let's get to that. Let's get to that because there was So I think you're talking about when the goalkeeper got a foot on Erdegaard and it wasn't called. So maybe it's a Norwegian thing. Maybe Norwegians in the box against the goalkeeper lose every time. Right? Maybe that's what it is. And that sucks if that's the case, right? So that sucks. Yeah. So yeah, let me adjust this as well. But here we go. Silver simulated punt. Yeah, I think so. I think that was a dive. I think that's basically what a dive looks like. And they got it, and as Mr. Tom will say, the big six, what is it called again? The big six.
The Big Six, yeah.
What is it called again? What's that?
Oh, the Super League Six.
The Super League Six. They get the benefit of the doubt in any calls, and if it benefits them, then the call goes their way. So that's what
they
Mr.
literally do.
So there's a rule. It's an unwritten rule.
I know you're disagree with me with that because of the implication I'm making, but I stand by it.
I hear you.
It only gets a bit murky when it's big six against each other, because then it becomes like more a hierarchy thing on like who's got the most money or who can intimidate ref, or like who is actually more likely to go to the referee's house and punch him. And then,
is it punch him or who's? I don't think it's punch him. I don't think it's punching these days. I think it's more who's bringing over the champagne or the bottle of wine. I think that's more the case than who's going over to punch.
I'll tell you all saying, in all seriousness, when I was a child, right, I can't believe I fell for this. My dad told me Man United used to supply the referees with a limousine to the game, and that's why they got all the decisions. And in hindsight, even at 11 years old, I should have suspected that that was a lie. But is it a lie? Is it a lie?
Hey,
Like,
you know what? They just wanted the officials to be rested and see the game clearly. You know, Eddie, that song, I can see clearly now. The clouds are gone. When they're taking the train and it's all yucky, or they're driving, they have to deal with all the mess. But now they're taking a limo. Everything's clear. You know, nice air. They don't have to deal with people. They get to the game. The mind is clear. They can see it now. Maybe that's what it is.
we are talking 1995, to be fair. Like in terms of infrastructure, they were head and shoulders above anyone else in England. Like, it was plausible that he would afford to be able to like the limo to take the ref from London to Manchester, sort of thing. It was.
I hear you. Yeah.
I was just, what was I thinking? But
Nice.
back of my mind, I'm like, but did they? But did they though? And
I hear you.
My dad talks some shit. It still does. Oh God, I could write a book on the things he's told me that I've fact checked and have turned out to be not true.
I hear you. Yeah, no, let's get into the comment that you wanted to talk about anyways.
Danny Wilbeck! The irony of that.
All right, so here we go. So this is the one you wanted to talk about, right?
It's not so much talk about it. I just think it should be acknowledged that whatever he's smoking, he has smoked too much of it, clearly. I'm more wanting to know if he was okay.
Yeah. I did see a he said technique and striking technique versus accuracy and power and position and all of that probably might not be the same. All right. But, so the technique might be good, but we're not seeing goals.
Surely the technique of the person that scored more goals is the true technique. In theory, like Saka has better striking technique, but has scored like 1/3 of the goal. Probably, I don't know the facts off of it, but I'd be very surprised if he has scored more career goals than Erling Haaland. Despite playing him slightly longer.
That is true, but you know, that's what Big sees.
It can't be correct. It factually can't be correct.
And then let's get into that.
If Erling Haaland's striking technique is to literally crawl on the ground and hit the ball with his dick, then it's the correct technique because he's done it more times successfully.
That is actually not. You are basically proving him correctly. That is
I'm not proving him correct.
You are. You just did.
If that's what he did. If it's what he did and he does it more times successfully, then that is the correct technique in the comparison.
It is not the correct technique. It works, and it doesn't work for everyone because not everyone can strike a ball like that with that appendage on their body, and score at with that consistency. So it's not typical. This is an abnormality. This is something, you know, this is this is not normal for footballers. So no, you are wrong, and you actually proved this point.
I'm not wrong. I'm correct. It's not even my opinion. It should just be fact. That scores the most goals. However they did it is evident the correct way to do it.
But the top scorers in the world of all time, career wise, season wise, do not use that part of their body. So it's been proven with stats and the trophies that come with that you know what, using your feet is probably the best way to strike a ball. I mean, it's been proven. So yeah. And I don't know. Oh, this is the comment. I don't know what this comment says. So let's see. That name is out of date. It's the Supper League 7 now with Newcastle, who has bought no
I wonder what meal
money.
you get when you've got a Supper League 7. I bet it's tasty. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bully typos and shit. It's a joke to be made. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not that sorry, because he used to face trophy dodgers and.
Well, you know what? Maybe
I know he's talking about. But I tell you this, Gary. One of my favourite things about. I'll tell you anyway. One of my favourite things about the Super League reveal was I saw of it being discussed like on American news, and the guy literally has all the clubs, and it shows him on his like graphic where he's basically gone. These are now exclusive to the trip, allegedly. Gary signed a contract exclusive. He was like, you got Man United, you got Arsenal. You talk about who's in it: Man United, Liverpool, and football. And then he basically turns around and goes, and Tottenham as well. No, sorry, I've told that wrong. He goes, big club. No, he goes, you've got all the big clubs: Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and Tottenham, as if like Tottenham weren't a big club. It was like he was surprised they were considered a big club. It was great. I've told it very badly, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm making a joke at the expense of Tottenham, all right? So, well, I'm not. American news was. And everyone knows that everything on American news is great.
You said it. You heard it here, folks. American news is great. As Arsenal Misfit says, maybe it's an Nketiah problem. Yeah, maybe.
Nketiah is great.
Yeah, I want to see this Nketiah you're talking about, because we didn't get you kept him. You didn't give him. You didn't give us that guy. So
that's because Bielsa taught him how to play proper football. No, if he's played proper football. Allegedly. Has the Man United Chelsea game started?
It has started. It is as it sits here. It is 0-0. Anthony just took a shot, went for the near post, and Kepa was able to push it out. So it's really good save there from Kepa. So still 0-0 at the bridge, and hopefully, as some have said, if the FA can figure out a way for both teams to lose, then
I said that yesterday. I literally said that yesterday.
I said as someone, I assumed you would.
I watched I was saying it about the Man United. So if they could look out a way that both teams lost, it'd been great. It'd been perfect. But unfortunately, the rules of football don't allow for that. So
very much.
But let me tell you something, brothers. These Arsenal fans, right, in this chat. I'm giving you all doses of reality, okay?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying in general, like.
Oh.
Because you're like,
I wanted some more after that.
It's always the two extremes. It's always the two extremes. You'll be sitting there going, "Oh, we're the worst team on earth." I'm like, "You're not that bad," and then they'll be like, "We're the best team on earth." I'm like, "You're not that good." You go, "Oh, what about your team?" Yeah, I widely acknowledge that my team would be a good football team if we could pass, shoot, or tackle. We'd be great, but we can't do either. So.
I thought the thing you couldn't do was shoot.
Well, yeah, that's the main thing.
Now you're adding like two other things to the list. You can't just be expanding the list, moving the goalposts all of a sudden just because you.
That's why pencils have erasers, Gary. You can change things. Just
And
don't use pen.
as Ray said, he's waiting for this wisdom.
Oh, wisdom, schmisdom.
And Biggs Gunner says, "Yeah, I bet Southampton fancy their chances against us. Gotta put them down early." I agree with the second part. The first part, they are concerned. There's no way they think it's going to go the way it did the last time. Not with this Arsenal. Not the way that we are playing. Not the way that we have played. Depending on
I can give you some wisdom.
Yep, go ahead.
Did you know on a can of drink? Do you know what the hole is for in the tab? When you pull the tab, do you know what the hole is for in it?
The straw, man. Come on. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know that. No, a lot of people don't know that because they don't use straws.
Not anymore. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct with that. Yeah. Yeah. And everybody's waiting for this Mr. Tom Wisdom that can change their life.
Don't piss into the wind. Because if you have been doing that, you can save on like your cleaning bills and everything. And you smell a lot nicer as well.
And that was
like me.
Mr. Tom's wisdom quote of the day. Watch where you go in the wind. There you go.
Let me tell you something, brother.
It probably should be a shirt.
You should.
Right?
You should. You really should. I can't take credit for that though. It's Hogan. What's the word? It's like it entered me via osmosis. Science. It's a big word for me, but used anyway.
Yeah, United's getting a little bit too much time in the box here, but offside's call and it's going to go back the other way. So yeah, we talked about the Liverpool match today. What else happened? Something else happened today. Let's see. Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. So I think you want to speak on this one, but I will. We'll just give the highlights on the score though. Yeah, as you said, Everton dominated and beat Crystal Palace at home 3-0, scoring from everywhere it seemed. Crystal Palace looked off like after their last match where it looked like this could be the start of something, but it ended pretty quickly. Zaha. He was frustrated. I think he took out one of the scorers for Everton at one point with a challenge in the air. Yeah.
Say what you will about Zaha, I will give him credit on one thing. He is the best player I think I've ever seen in my life at looking absolutely disgusted when a ball should have been played to him in a good position and it wasn't. He has this look of absolute disdain, and I'm all for it. I think the only player that a distant second is Gabriel Jesus. When he's in a position to receive the ball and it does not make its way to him, they pull faces like you've shat on their child.
And you know what? If as an attacker, striker, forward, whatever you want to call it, you don't want to waste your runs, and you don't want to put yourself in positions to score and not have that opportunity to score. So yeah, you should be disappointed, and the team should know this, right? The team should know I'm going to be there. Just give me the ball, right? So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but Zaha does a little bit extra than that. I think he did get a yellow for that. I think it was, I forgot who the youngster is for Everton. Gordon, yeah, he hit him. It was a ball in the air. He went at it pretty strong, and he definitely saw Gordon there and left a little bit in there for him. And,
but doing that to Anthony Gordon should be rewarded, not punished.
I agree. I agree that some people would think that, But I think it was that's why it's when some people say Zaha to Arsenal, yeah, we want that. That reasoning there is probably why Arteta is probably looking at it as probably not an option for him and not a road they want to go down. So Vieira, I think Vieira just doesn't have. I mean, he's got good players there. He's got good players there. Not playing well for sure. Not getting the most out of them consistently because you see it every so often.
I think he's getting what he's expected to get. Like, if he wins half his matches in a season, they'll be happy because it means that they won't be relegated.
Yep.
I mean, if he won literally half his matches, he'd be pushing for Europe. But my point is more, as long as they're not in a situation where they're fighting relegation by sort of March, April.
Yep.
That's in their mind. I imagine that's what. As long as they keep getting the Premier League income coming in, they'll be happy. Like pretty much all the teams outside of the top 6.
I hear you.
That's why Villa's gone, because they're worried that they're going to be dragged into it.
Yeah, my thing is sometimes when you let like Villas now have to find somebody who's going to have to run to drive this bus, right? And will they be able to find that person? Like after 10 matches, did you really get all the answers that you need to the questions that you ask of your squad?
Just to quickly answer Ray's comment, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe last season Palace got their highest Premier League points total.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was off the top of my head, but I'm sure Vieira achieved it.
Oh, is that right? So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that.
I could be wrong, but I do think it is the case.
Let's see what they did.
They obviously did really well last year, considering I think it's fair to say that under Roy Hodgson, they had grown incredibly stale. Well, because the main thing Vieira's done is basically lowered the average age of the squad, hasn't he? Like, they were playing 30-year-olds and they're now playing like 23-year-olds, plus Zaha, obviously. But
yeah. So things went a little. Oh, so last season, what did they do? They finished with 48 points. Pretty good, right? Pretty good
for them.
Yeah, 48 points. That's I don't know. Let's see if I don't know if I get a.
Keep in mind that before Roy Hodgson joined them, they generally were relegated every season they got promoted.
Huh.
There might be one or two outliers, but they were generally always promoted and relegated, and then promoted and relegated.
So based on what you're saying is he's done a good job, and it would behoove them to just help him get whatever he needs. So it would behoove them.
Yeah, but they won't want to overextend that in case it goes wrong. Because you've got to be careful in these situations that if you overspend and then you end up in the championship, you are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I guess the question could be also asked: is selling Zaha worth it if you can bring in a better team? You can have a better team at the end of the day versus we have one of the an attacking threat, a 10+ goal scorer for the season.
Say hello to my boy Ben.
All right, so let's yeah, Ben, how you doing on the show? I know I've been and I haven't really been slacking on the chat, but there are some songs that have there are chat messages that have come in. Is that how the song goes? You don't tog on Superman's cape. You don't piss in the wind, and you don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess with Mr. Tom. That's pretty much it. Yeah, you don't really want to mess with Mr. Tom. I mean, he's got a dungeon
People have tried.
He's got a dungeon and yeah. You want me to do better, just not, I think he's doing
They
better.
usually
As we
send their
saw.
family Christmas cards, so they
Yeah,
still think they're alive.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
sorry.
what is, and you know what? I think what happened with Crystal Palace is what happens to a lot of these teams, because before they lost SA, whatever it was last season or the season before, it looked like things were gonna. They looked like a really good team at that point. And since he's come back, it's not. I don't think they've got that team working. That team working. Yeah, trains not buses, Gary. Yeah, there's a train, there's a bus. I know that. I know what you mean by the buses, but yeah, the train. We're on this train. Yeah. So, however you get there, I don't care. Just all aboard, as they say. All right. Um. Yeah, so they had a good season plus a semifinal. That's got to be good. Um. Let's see what else we have here. Everybody's saying hi to Ben. And yeah, on the soup last night was really good. You had Ben and Mr. Tom, hosting the channel, and I was in there trying to provide the nonsense, but I am just not. I'm not at that level. It's a skill I just don't possess. Yeah, yeah.
It just comes to some naturally.
Your fairy godmother worked her magic. I guess, are you talking about like my comments on Forest, and then them actually works winning? Yeah, if that's what you're talking about, then yeah. If it's something else that, like, maybe I won the lottery, just let me know so I can go buy a ticket, because I didn't buy a ticket. Yeah, yeah. It makes you wonder, and I think this is the way the league is right now. This game, these two teams aren't playing the way they did in the other matches, right? Chelsea, though, is probably happy with this. United probably could play a lot better with the players. I think that the way they've been playing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Ten Hag would probably rather have a back and forth game here. All routes lead to Oklahoma. I don't know what that means, because I don't want to go there.
What's in
Sorry,
Oklahoma other than Tony?
exactly. And why would I want to go there?
Yeah, well, yeah, because Tony would just shoot you.
It's I don't. Yeah, when I see, yeah. And what's this? Vieira
Task
was
is a
my
death
manager
trap.
of the year, bringing in 15 new players with a restricted budget and getting them to get to gel was way more than I was expecting. Did more with less than
I,
any
I'm,
other
I'm,
manager.
I'm sure there's absolutely no bias in Vieira being the Arsenal Misfits Manager of the Year last year. Absolutely none at all. All based on facts.
Uh,
Nothing
I
to do with
just,
him being a club legend at Arsenal. Nothing to do with that at all.
I hear you. I just,
He did do well though, obviously. Like I've said numerous times, he obviously steered the ship in a more upwards trajectory than a downwards one.
sure. Well, yeah. I mean, everybody expected a bounce from Newcastle, so that's not a surprise. But Crystal Palace coming in and starting the season with the same manager definitely, definitely did well.
I'll tell you
So
who the manager of the year was, and with 100% bias from me up front, was Thomas Frank, because he made the decision to make all of his subs in about the 60th minute on the final day, which meant then that when one of his lads got injured and his other lad got sent off, they were down to 9 men when they didn't have to be, which helped us stay up. And Mr. Frank, just your foresight to know that you were fucking yourself with those subs. I thank you. Manager of the year, probably manager of the decade, if I'm being.
in the Leeds trophy.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because people will say, "Oh, it's Pep. Oh, it's Klopp." No, 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 no. You're all thinking small. Thomas Frank.
There
Thomas
you
Frank.
go. Big
I don't even
Gunner.
like him.
His 3-0 to Liverpool went out the window. Yeah,
It did.
I assumed Liverpool would win, but as I did mention, I don't know if it was to you guys or on the Thursday show, that Forest, I think should be much better. Should be much better. and they showed it today. So there you go.
Got to win
Saying hi to
tomorrow.
Ben.
That's it. Got to
CR7,
win
I don't
tomorrow.
is my understanding is not on the bench. He's been he's been
He's on the
punished
naughty
for
step.
not wanting to come into a 2-0 win. For what reason, I'm not sure. Because many have said, why do you keep, you bring him in when you're losing because you want to score, but when you're winning and you want to bring him in, I guess it's bad for Ronaldo. I don't get that.
I don't give that club much or what's the word on the street? Props, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ten Hag, on one hand, I want to say it takes some stones to be no, you're like the greatest footballer of all time in some people's minds.
Yep.
You're nothing to me. I don't give a fuck who you are type thing. But at the same time, it's a lot easier to do that with a 37-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo than it might have been to a 25-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, for sure. No, and I think, but I mean, I think it should be easy. It's easier when he is at that age,
Yes.
and it isn't as if the writing wasn't on the wall. I mean, he is not. I mean, he plays for his country with some really good players, and they're better off when he comes off the pitch, right? So
Well,
he's not the big
fair,
influence anymore. And
if he was 25, he'd use him. So I'm in some ways, it was a silly comparison for me to make. But it's a lot easier to do your power grab on the rest of the team when you know he's on the decline. Because deep down, everyone in football knows they shouldn't have bought him in the first place. They took him, 2 reasons. They took him so Man City didn't have him, which then makes it really clever of Man City to have even floated the idea they were going to get him. And because of the Super League, sorry. They needed something big to get the fans back on side after the perceived betrayal of the Super League. Because to be fair to the big 6 clubs, all the fans were furious, apart from the idiots. But generally, you were all furious at that. So they had to make moves to be well, what can we do to make the fans less angry at us? And for Man United, it was bring back Boy Wonder, who's now a man, type thing.
True.
An angry man that doesn't want to listen to anyone, evidently.
True. I don't. His contract expires, I think, at the end of the season. I did see there was a report on ESPN that they might just let him go for free.
They would have to let him go for free because of his wages. No one's going to be willing to pay a transfer fee for him.
Well, I guess they're prepared to do that again because I think they did that in the summer, and for some reason there weren't any takers. Right, there wasn't anybody interested in taking an old Ronaldo.
Yeah, I think you got to keep in mind the teams that could afford him wouldn't want him.
Yeah.
Realistically, it'd be Champions League teams, top 4 in England would be able to afford him. But if you look at the forward lines of these teams, they'd be like, why would you bring Ronaldo in to that?
Very much. Yeah. No, I as you said here, Arsenal misfit. It's big statement. It's still a big statement by Ten Hag to keep bringing him on from the bench as it shows the rest. No one is safe, and that is definitely true. If you're not performing or if you can't perform, and that's what the Exhibit A, right? Milner, right at Liverpool. He's come off the bench many times to support his team when they needed it. Totally different player than Ronaldo for sure. But, at some point, he realized he's not the same player anymore. but he is a player
Milner
that.
will still. Sorry to interrupt. Milner will still be playing when he's 40 because he's at a different level of professional.
Yeah.
He's not a star, like, but he doesn't come like I don't know anything about him other than the fact that he's from Leeds. I know nothing about the man apart from the fact that he's very fit because he always wins their bleep test or whatever it is they do,
Yeah.
and it's increasingly absurd that he wins it because he's older and he's like 36 or 37 whatever, and he's beating people
Yeah.
literally half his age in fitness tests.
True.
But
We know that he's strong because Tierney decided to kick through him, and probably almost broke his leg. So just yeah. Chelsea, I think, also is a team that could pick him up, right? I mean,
they can afford him.
Aubameyang and Ronaldo. That imagine that. Imagine that. People will buy tickets to see that. They would.
It
They would
wouldn't be
buy
good.
tickets. They would buy tickets to see that. That would just be crazy. That would be nonsense. That would be, box office, as they say. Get your popcorn because something's about to happen.
Yeah, box office in the way that you can't look away from a car crash.
I didn't say it was Academy Award winning performances and stuff like that, but as you said, yes, everybody who slows down to see if why we all slow down, why they're flashing lights on the other side of the road here, and they slow down to see what it is. That's what you're doing. Yeah. I think a lot of people were happy when Ronaldo signed with United because they just. 99% of people knew this wasn't going to work out for them. I mean, except I don't know who, as a United fan, would be like, yeah, this is probably going to work out really well for us, right?
It set them back years. It cost Ollie his job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the reason I think it cost him his job is because Ollie planned. They planned their team around, in my opinion, they planned their team around the signing of Jadon Sancho. And then Jadon Sancho quickly became forgotten because Ronnie became available. And you had to fit Ronnie in your team. And basically everything they had planned for, or well, I'll make it sound like some big grand design. And it's not, it's just picking football players. But realistically, or what's the word, in relative terms, they'd spent years chasing Jadon Sancho. It was the worst kept secret in football that they were going to sign him from Dortmund. It was just a question of how much are Dortmund going to manage to get out of Man United for it. And then, basically, they activated the transfer, and then Ronnie came in, and it was like everything out the window.
And that is that's a really important point because I think what that's also done is for some reason, anyways, I think that's hurt Sancho in regards to how he's being played at with the England team because of the way he's being played at the United team, because it wasn't as if he wasn't lighting it up before he got there, right? And he's getting punished for the team he's on because they're mismanaging him, right? Same thing to some degree. It's like Jude Bellingham. He can't get a sniff in the England team. All he keeps doing is doing his job and doing it well, right? So that is, and that's all on Southgate because it shouldn't be. What I see at United isn't working because we know that's not the way he looks at players, right? Because the fridge looks like a fridge playing for United, but for some reason looks different playing with an England shirt on. And so it can't be, I don't see what I need to from my players when they play for their clubs. And that's why they don't play.
Imagine what it was like when, I'll say 20, probably say 30 years ago. Imagine what it was like trying to get an England team when 95% of the top division was English. Whereas now, you're talking about players that are having their England career harmed when there's 40 English players. I'm wrong. There's probably more than 40, but you see my point. The pool is a lot smaller at the elite level, and players are still getting what's the word, played out of it, let's say, by how they're being used and how they're performing, obviously, as part of it. But I just find it interesting because they're players that have never played for England. Yet, if you watch them, they'd be the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Back,
Well, I mean,
like off the top of my head, Matthew Letizia for
there's those that said,
Southampton, for example.
yeah, there's those that said, like Ian Wright probably should have had more caps, right? More opportunities to
Of
play,
course, yes.
right? So like just like I mean, I know that because I've heard him say it, but it's like you want the best players on the field. You got the best players in your country, the best players. You need to figure out how to get it done, or you need to bring somebody in that can, right? And I don't mean like Southgate needs to be fired sometimes. It's like, well, maybe I can find somebody who's better at organizing these top players so they can play together, and we only get to see them, 3 or 4 times a year or whatever. So we need to make this thing work because you can't. There's no reason why Arsenal, crap. There's no reason why England can't be scoring 3 and 4 goals in a match against pretty much anybody in the world. They've got too much, right? They may not have the best defense, but they definitely have an attack that can rival most of the teams out there, right?
That's fair.
I mean, so I kind of feel like like a 4-3 win would not be out of the realm of possibility, especially if you're the one with the 4 every time. All right, so I don't know. Yeah, and as Ray says, match over here is getting a little testy here. A little bit of players getting knocked down, stuff like that. I don't think any cards have been brandished yet, but let's see, any cards? Yeah, there was a yellow card here for who is that? Anthony. Anthony got one. So,
probably
but yeah,
crying
but
to the
no,
ref or
but
something.
like I said, that is the problem. It's like because of poor teams, poor clubs, poor managers, poor systems, players are getting punished twice. You know, twice, and I know many people don't think too much of the international football, but when you got some of the best players in the world that are wear your shirt, got to get better. And just because Southgate is getting you there and is better than those in the past, I think you've got probably a much better team where that should be the norm and not, well, we're doing it great, so it's all right if we lose. That can't be it either. That can't be it either. Let's see. If the Fringe plays in the World Cup, England won't make it out of the group stages. He was.
Fridge,
oh, the
fridge.
I thought he said the fridge in the Fringe. I thought is what he said. My screen is a little tiny here, so that's why.
That's a good show. You should watch it. Fridge.
I actually like.
No,
I watched that one. I like that. I watched this. I watched the entire series. Enjoyed it. I love the father son dynamic in it.
Yep.
Perfect. Very, very, very good. If you haven't seen the Fringe, check it out. But he was bloody terrible in the last group of games. And when he gave the ball twice for 2 out of the 3 goals allowed. Yeah, he is. Southgate is living and dying on that sword for some reason, and I don't get it. I mean, they can't be worse defensive players in England, right? Like they always talk about scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, can you scrape it more and find more crud at the bottom of the barrel?
The thing is, you're going to keep in mind that he's going to look at Harry Maguire and basically be like, well, people can say what they want, but for me, we've not lost many games with him in competitively in tournament matches. I'm talking about, not Nations League and friendly or whatever, but he's going to look at it and go, well, for me, he performs. Whether it's true or not, it's up for debate, but that's what he thinks or that's what he feels. So he's going to pick him and he's going to play him because in his mind, he doesn't let him down.
It's terrible.
He's wrong, but that's what will happen.
He's wrong, and he's been wrong. He's wrong. I mean, you're right. He's wrong. Like he's wrong in a sense. Yeah, he's wrong, and getting you there and not finishing the deal when you have it in your hands is really sucks. I guess it sucks as a fan if you're a fan of a team, right? That you're just not
But
getting the best out of your
this is
team.
football, though, isn't it? Like, we can sit here and be like, how did England lose to a team that lost to Macedonia? But then Man City are going to sit there and go, how did we lose to a team that lost to Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, but
That's how weird football is.
But they had 90 minutes, I believe, if I recall. They had 90 minutes to get a win out of that, and without having to go to goal kicks. 90 minutes, I think. I think they had a lead, I believe, and they weren't able to finish it off in 90 minutes. Like, they weren't able to take the lead.
Yeah, I think after England scored, I don't think we had another shot. I could be wrong. I don't think we did. But no, obviously, it's not good. It's clearly not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to be able to convince anyone that it is, and I don't feel that it is.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we've gone deep into these tournaments by playing this frustrating defensive football and then nicking a goal.
Yep. Yep. When you have some of the best,
that's going to happen in the winter as well.
And you have some of the best attacking talent in the world. You have some of the best attacking talent in the world. When you add it all up and you look at the numbers, you're like is
hi, Director John?
Director? Oh, hey there, Director John. Welcome to the show. We're doing good today. We're enjoying talking with each other. All right, Mr. Tom, we're having a good chat.
It's getting dark out earlier now.
Oh,
don't forget to put your clock backs on the 30th. Just saying. Your America is the 6th of November. Already looked it up. Just saying.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, it's actually clear blue skies. I got the window open on the other side here, and clear blue skies right now. The temperature is 48, which I guess I don't know if what is that, 10, 13 degrees for you guys?
I try to use the American measurement when possible because it always sounds more dramatic.
Yeah, 13 doesn't sound that bad when like you can turn around and say like 25 is really, really nice.
Yeah.
But if I said 46 and 78, you're like, wow, big difference.
Well, in the summer we had like the hottest day ever in England type thing, and it was like really like, oh, it's 35, 36. But then when I converted it to American, it was like you're over 100 degrees. So I was like, now that sounds like that can be made to sound terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was, because I nearly died.
I hear that. Yeah. So no. So yeah. No. As they said right here, it is halftime over here, and we just talked about the clock and stuff like that.
They're both losers. Don't even acknowledge them. I mean, Chelsea and Man United. I'm not talking about Arsenal Misfit. I'm sure he's a massive winner.
Yeah. You know what? There was somebody who said this a while back. I remember listening to this. They said that the only way you can get it, that you could not have a scoreless draw. And it was kind of interesting to say that in a sense that people will, you cannot get a point unless you score, which will open up the match because, well, I can't take a draw unless I score. So I might as well go for it, right? And you have it in your head that we need to score here, and no matter what, to get a draw, to get a win, you have to you have to score at least once. I thought that was a good idea, and in some of these, I think it would open up the games in some of these tournaments, or maybe not necessarily in the club, in the club leagues, but think about like in a European Cup, you don't have to you're not going to penalties, and you're not trying to get a draw because it helps you out. You got to score. right? A team can go with 0 points, not because and would have drawn 3 times, right? They're gonna have to try to score in the next match they play because they know they need a win at the least. So it would open up the match. 2 point. What is this? 2 points for a score draw. Hmm. That's another way, right? Everybody. Either way, you're pushing people to try to score in these matches and open up the game some. I think you can do it in a tournament setting. I don't think you want to do it in a club because you can't. You're not playing extra time. But to get rid of the extra time, especially in these. Well, is there extra time? There's no extra time in the group stages, right?
No, just knockout stage.
Yeah, but if I told you don't get a point in the group stages, you might go for it a little bit more, right? The teams, instead of going with a defensive structure to hold on to a point, will need to go offensive to get a point, right? Especially if
That's
you
quite
have like,
interesting.
yeah, if you have a if you have the stronger bench, right? If you got the deeper squad, like England could go to their bench to try to get a point, right? Because they have the stronger bench. Because they right now they're playing Sancho and Bellingham off the bench because they don't start for them, right? I mean,
Well, I
even
can
in
tell
some,
you something. I'll tell you something very interesting. Of just sort of I had a suspicion. In the World Cup in 2006, Switzerland conceded no goals in the entire tournament, but didn't win the tournament.
yeah, you got to score to win, man. Got to score to win.
They had, I remember, I'm looking up, they had a 0-0 draw with France, then they beat Togo 2-0, they beat South Korea 2-0, and then they had a 0-0 draw with the Ukraine and lost on penalties.
Hmm.
So, good defensive play got them nowhere.
Yeah, well, and that's probably you'll win because of your defense, but you can't lose because of your defense. But you ain't winning because of your defense if you can't score. You know what I mean? Like one of those things. I just thought that was kind of cool. Um, but yeah, I thought that would be kind of cool. You have to score to get a point. So you see that you get 3 or 0 in most cases, right? So kind of cool.
So,
Um,
do you think every game should go to penalties?
I don't think anybody likes penalties because they want you to win it on the pitch. I like either the golden goal approach. Just
Golden goal, though, right? You'll find you see golden goal sounds really amazing, but what
yeah,
you actually found happened was it made the games even worse
no, I
because
get
then
that.
it turned into two teams not trying to go forward because
Yeah,
they didn't want to get caught out.
yeah. But if you knew, okay, but see, there's the golden boot, but then there's also we're not going to penalties, and you don't get a point, right?
You mean
You don't
golden
get
goal?
golden goal, sorry, and you don't get a point. So in the group stages, it'll make it a little bit livelier in the sense that people will try to score. I understand. At some point, I mean, I think most people just want to win it. I mean, I've also heard maybe you pull players, right? You pull players off one at a time every 30 minutes or something like that, and that opens the game up a little bit more, right? Because if you're playing, 10 on 10, if you
Yeah,
got
I
the
get what
better,
you mean. Yeah.
you got the better athletes, then the game opens up for you, and that way you win it on the pitch because nobody wants to go to goals. Nobody, not one person wants to go there. So you have to win it on the let teams win it on the pitch. Yeah.
My favourite method of deciding games that FIFA tried, which backfired, was when they tried the silver goal, where if you scored in the first half of extra time, the game didn't end. But if you were still winning by the half time of extra time, the game was over. So
Yeah.
naturally, what happened was Czech Republic scored in the injury time of the first half of extra time against Greece, if I remember right. Greece scored against Czech Republic, sorry, in 2004. So what happened was basically it was golden goal because there was literally no time to answer it back.
Yeah.
And FIFA and UEFA were like sat there like, well, that didn't work, did it?
Yeah. Well, it did work because that was the rules. The rules say if you go into the second half with a lead, then the match is over.
No, but the idea of it was meant to then encourage the other team to still come out attackingly because they had to score was rendered pointless because they literally had no time to score.
What would be the difference if they scored in the first? Like, oh, you're saying
Then they would have had 14 minutes to equalise.
no? Yes, but
they didn't have any time to equalise because the goal happened in the 105th minute.
no, but okay, maybe I missed the rule, but I thought that if you scored in the second half, the match is over. If you score in the first half, you're saying you have to tie it back up before halftime to make it to the second half.
Yes, that was what they tried it because golden goal became so defensive because teams didn't want to concede a goal. They were like, right, we'll make it so even if you do concede a goal, you still have time to save yourself.
I hear that.
The only time there was a goal in silver goal was in the 105th minute. So there was no time to save yourself. They were fucked immediately.
But you know what? Them the breaks, as they say. You know, SOL, as they say. Those are the rules. You knew the rules going in. If you're gonna protect that draw, then you need to protect that draw through the entire first half.
But that's why it didn't work.
Your problem.
That's why I got rid of it.
Yeah, and it looks like in Canada they're going to try to get rid of daylight savings time. I guess because the only people that it matters to some degree is I think parts of India. I think at least that I interact with, and
I thought the only place where it doesn't happen
was
Arizona.
It doesn't happen. Sorry, Suppin.
It doesn't happen in Arizona, and I think Hawaii, off the top of my head, might be Alaska. I'm not too sure. True. But other than that, it generally applies to most other places.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, do we need it? I mean, the only reason they were doing it before is because I guess for energy reasons now is what they're saying. It's the reason why it works.
The way it was explained to me, and I'm putting this down to it's probably more lies or bollocks from my dad.
Before you continue on, Mr. Sam has joined us. He wasn't available for the show, but he is in the chats. Just go through his chats real quick, and I'll let you continue your thought there. But also, Misfit likes our discussions on ways to make the game better a little bit. Tom McNosin in the dark room as usual. There you go. Game's it's pretty boring. As Tommy Boy had his fingers out. His fingers were out. You missed it. They came out. They did their job. Goals counted as points.
He's had a lot of silly ideas though, hasn't he, old Arsene? Like, and I'm not saying this to disparage him because he's Arsenal or whatever. The reason I think a lot of his ideas are silly is that he knows they're silly, but FIFA are paying him a lot of money as like a consultant or whatever it is. So he's got to sit there and he's basically got to come up with ideas to justify what they're, like in a job, how you're making bad ideas, but they're paying you to give them something.
Yeah. And you know what? We find that in different parts of our everyday life, right? Yes. A new manager comes in and they have to change the status quo because they are a new manager, but the status quo is working and making the company lots of money. But we got to change it.
Exactly. Yes.
Or else I can't show my work.
Yeah. And he's like, if you're paying me £1 million a year, then I'm going to suggest utter crap. But because you need... No, we wouldn't, Sam. We wouldn't get any points for that suggestion because we don't score fucking goals, mate. So, no, we wouldn't get any points. We'd have got no points against Arsenal. We'd have got no points against Leicester. We'd be still in the same position we were before the suggestion. Fucked.
Nah, I hear you.
You'll love the
But
replay, Sam. It was great. I haven't watched it.
yeah, check it out. For those who are just joining us late, yeah, we did start out. I think we started out really well talking about stuff as you always do. It looks
It
like in
devolved.
Saskatchewan, they also do not use the don't use it.
That's in
So
Canada.
yeah, that's in Canada. That's where Steven, the Arsenal Misfit, is from, right? I believe I got that right if I'm correct.
Oh,
I'm not always good
sorry.
with the names, but names behind the names here. But we're still here. I don't know, Mr. Tom, if you have. I'm gonna have to go in about 20 minutes for sure. So we can go for a little bit. Maybe the second half will open up and we'll see the stadium implode, and then everybody will go home happy.
That's fine. I'm gonna go and get food afterwards anyway, but it can wait.
All right, so we'll
I
probably be
got
on
the
for another.
Chinese on speed dial anyway, so it's fine.
There you go. That's really good. Yeah. So in about 10 minutes, we will head out of here. We were talking about. Yeah, I know you had a thought. I don't know if you remembered that thought.
Oh yeah, that's one of my dad's lines. What was the subject we're talking? Oh, no, it's gone. No, what were we talking about? To which I brought up my dad's lines.
We were talking about we were going through making the game livelier. We're talking about daylight savings time.
It's totally gone out of
What
my
else were
head.
we
I'll
talking
have to watch
about?
the replay.
Talking
Yeah,
about
so it's gone.
the English players, I guess.
It's true. It's true. It's true. He's coming out of ideas, telling me they're going to help me when they won't help me because my team are shit. They're doing shit. They're not shit. They're doing shit. Doing shit. It's different.
Yeah, he was.
Distinct
You know
difference.
what? You know what, Sam? He
Yes.
was.
Yes.
He was.
Thank
He
you,
was happy
Sam.
about the talk.
I remember the lie. Thank you, Sam. He said to me, because we have to set the clock back an hour in winter because of children going home from school, and it would be a lot safer if they didn't have to go home from school in the dark. That's what he said.
Wow. That is not why it's there, but yes,
I'm
I
pretty
get the
sure
point.
that's not why, but as a child, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, Dad, so I haven't got to go home in the dark. Like, it seemed plausible, but the more older I get, it's another one of these things like, why would Man United send a limo to... Anyway, no.
But then also you have I assume you left in the morning and it was bright, right? No. So you're going to
Yes.
school in the dark at some point in the day, be it in the morning or not. People checking on Sam to see how he's doing. They are bound by electric blue lighting creativity. There you go.
Sam sparked me up then somehow. As soon as he said daylight savings time, I was like, that's it. The light immediately entered my head.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, Sam.
And
I was struggling till we come up.
see, in Canada, kids go to school in the dark, so whatever. Because of where you live, I guess. And I think in
I was
Norway,
9 and stupid, misfit. I was
I think
stupid.
isn't in Norway it's pretty much dark all the time, so that wouldn't work. So, right?
Listen, I should my notepad of questions. I should just fill it with lies that my dad tells me. To be honest.
Yeah. No, my understanding is this one. My understanding was this one is for the farmers, so that they could do their work in the daylight. So that's why they gave them an extra hour, so they can get the work.
Oh, but what about the Norwegian farmers or the farmers in Iceland where there's no daytime?
You're just out of luck, right? You're just out of luck. You just have to get your flashlights out and your LED lights that you had back in those days, and oh wait, they didn't have lights. Get your candles out, and there you go. But yeah, I think it's all about the farmers and calendar. Yeah, Norway doesn't have.
I think Sam was doing the Canadian national anthem there, I believe.
Oh, Canada. Yeah.
I believe that was the joke.
Yes. Yes. And it's we're in the 48th minute here, and still not much going on. Chelsea's having some really poor top six matches this season so far. Have they won any of them?
Don't think so.
I was just wondering because I don't. I mean, I know they drew against that team. I don't know if they played anybody else.
No, I don't think they have actually. To be fair,
So
a quick look at their fixtures. No, their match with Liverpool was postponed due to the Queen dying.
okay. So they haven't.
Sorry, I've told that wrong. It technically wasn't because the Queen died. It was because they didn't have
It,
enough police to do the security because of the funeral.
yep.
The same reason the Leeds and Man United game was postponed. Otherwise, that would have gone ahead.
Yep. So they have a lot more matches against the big teams. So we'll see. And I think that the Koulibaly experiment, it looks like might be. I know he's out because of injury, but I think that was the problem. He just can't hack it in the Premier League. Is my the way I look at things. So Tom, you would love Norway in the winter because you wouldn't have to worry about any of the sun coming in at all.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. It would be really convenient.
The dungeon will
I
be
have a
dark
question for
all the time.
Arsenal Misfit. Do you follow along with the Canadian Premier League? Because I believe that is a fairly recent invention.
Huh. Is Klopp a
Which
dead man walking?
coincides with the rise of their national team, which has
Huh.
obviously qualified for the World Cup, which is
Pretty good. Yeah. What do you think about Klopp? Is he dead man walking?
no. I think they believe he will turn it around because he is only one or two players getting back to fitness from them actually being at relative full strength. So
Yeah. And I think Thiago is probably the key player. So if he's back, then they're much better. But the other players will probably help them in scoring. So there you go.
you got to keep in mind, as long as he gets top four and a trophy, they'll be happy.
Yeah, the trophy part might also be an issue. I mean, just think about it. We are what? Still 14 points ahead of them, all right?
Yeah, but there's
And
3 other trophies they can get.
and no, I mean, and no matter how poor we play in the next 4 matches, they will still be behind us, right?
That's true. But
So
they're not trying to catch you. They're just trying to catch fourth.
yeah, but some people are saying we might finish fourth.
You might. You might. But the reality is there's, 28 games to go, something like that.
Yep, 28 to go.
So
No,
that can be
38.
overturned in
28
5
to go.
games.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so it can be overturned in 5.
Yeah, yeah, but the odds of
That's a
that
lot, but
yeah,
it's a lot. But at the same time, it's not a lot considering how many are left.
Yeah.
And you've got to play Man City twice.
Yes. And we're hoping that doesn't really matter. So, but we shall see. Yeah. So you lived in Whitehose, Yukon for 18 years. It was light from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. That's crazy, right? You wake up in the morning and you get ready for school. You get to school, it's still dark. You get out of school and like 30, 40 minutes later, bang, it's dark again. So it's gotta suck. Gotta suck.
See?
Yeah.
They probably did it there for the kids that left school free.
True. Oh, all right. So I don't. All right, you can actually summarize the. So
yeah,
this is the question to Mr. Tom. Can Tom concisely summarize the post-colonial macros economic growth of Burkina Faso, a country in Africa? I don't remember if it's South Central or North Africa, but go ahead, Mr. Tom. Tell the people. What you know about the?
I'm actually glad he asked, because did you know that their GDP has grown 6% since 2020? That's a lot.
Damn.
That's a
But can
lot of
you
growth.
summarize it?
Yeah, it grew.
It just okay. That's all you got. I wanted a little bit more detail, maybe just a little bit more.
And they currently have $926 per person per capita. It's actually described as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think parts of Canada are essentially like nowhere, right? If you live in the right, if you live in the right or wrong parts, depending on how you deal with other people. So we are gonna head out of here in a bit. So I'm gonna let Tom have his say, and I'm gonna have my say, and then we're gonna head out of here. Mr. Tom
Yeah.
just started following Canadian League. We were getting ready to protest the World Cup because the organizers will import snow for our games. That's cool. And
Also,
and Sam is happy with your response. So what else you got?
yeah, based on the GDP, that's the gross domestic product, I believe. Yep. They are the 8th fastest growing nation in Africa, behind only Tanzania, Guinea, Senegal, Djibouti. It's a real name. Ivory Coast, Ethiopia, and Libya, which unsurprisingly has a rate of 55.1.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Cool.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Cool.
But I do have a question.
You got an admirer from Twitch saying hi. Yeah.
Oh, hi, person who's also linked to the show, I believe. Yeah.
So it's that time, folks. As we head out of here, we're gonna let Mr. Tom have his question, and go ahead, Mr. Tom.
Right. This is for my people out there that are well versed on their Premier League history. What, in terms of the start of the season, the actual day one, game one, what is the fastest sacking in Premier League history?
Wow. I'm assuming somebody got fired after the first match, but people want to hear that. Want to hear it.
It's a fair guess, but unfortunately, it's incorrect.
All right, let's see if anybody else has an answer before we let you answer the people.
Fastest sacking in Premier League history, considering day one will be the opening game of the season. Who is the fastest? Just get my dates right.
Anybody got any thoughts? Anybody? Let's see, we got one answer here from Arsenal Misfit. Freddie lasted 4 games. Anybody else? We'll let it go. Maybe another. I'll let it go another like 20 seconds here on our side here.
Yep. I've got to find some new questions. The answer is...
And at least this is the nationality, so it was an Italian or a Spaniard that maybe did that.
John's correct. It was Lolo and Mark from Happy Hour last night. Answer is Paul Sturrock, sacked by Southampton 9 days in season. He had 2 matches, which was a 2-0 loss at Aston Villa, but he also got a 3-2 win at home to Blackburn, and they still sacked him.
Wow.
And they also went down. So karma got them in the end.
All right, Mr. Tom, let the people talk to the people as we head out of here.
Yeah,
He just
say usual things I say. Thank you for everyone supporting the show, supporting Gary on his channel, spending time with us on my Saturday evening, Gary's morning, afternoon, to be fair. Thank you for Director John for turning up. He has very little interest in football, but he has interest in his boys. So, wait, that didn't sound right. That was, I mean, boys like mates, not, Anyway, yeah, he's not criminal in any way. Just putting that out there. Thank you for everyone supporting us, supporting me. You see, he's a great man. He's a great man. There's a lot of green here, and Sam Greenwood as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I should be around this week as well. So.
Cool.
I don't know if that's killed your viewership, Gary, by letting them know that. So.
I might have to cut that out, this last bit out here, so people won't get to hear my phrase at the end because of that comment that you just put there. Yeah, and it just for those who might want to know, looks like Rand. I know they're booing him coming off, but he stretched out to try to reach to put a tackle in on Aubameyang, and I might have pulled something. It looks like he missed Aubameyang, and he looks a little distraught as he's walking off the pitch. He just punched the corner flag, of course. So the fans aren't too happy. So that could be a little bit of an issue. That could be a little bit of an issue for United going forward, being out one of their top. I assume he's their top defensive player. So there you go. So yeah, thank you everyone. Once again, as Mr. Tom said, thanks for those who have joined us today, and all of those who will hopefully take a look at our replay as long as you want, as many times as you want. We will do this again next Saturday. We'll see if we can get a full house again. But we'll see what's going on there.
So that would be a bit weird.
Yeah, if you want to watch it 10 times, it's all up to you, right? Yeah. So, like I said, thanks for everybody who joined us. I know Mr. Tom, Director John has joined us, and thanks for joining us today. Sam came in a little bit late to hang out with us before he gets back to having fun with the family. And Ray joined us. You had Arsenal Misfit in the house. Big Gunner, of course, hang out with us. Ben Allen was here. Welcome. Did I miss anybody? I think Riddy was in. Riddy was in the house for a bit. The Assemble did stop by and say hi. So I think that's it. Oh, Why Not did join us, Sam, and I guess he might have saw you, and he jumped. As he said, he doesn't want to ride this train with us. I've called. We can't say bus because buses are bad, but this train that we're on, Arsenal is on right now. He didn't want to join us, but we're going. So we will see you guys, like I said, next Saturday, and hopefully Arsenal by then has had 2 more wins in the bank. That would be really nice. We'll still be at the top of the table. I think hopefully by then as well. Oh, looks like we got more than one Mr. Tom joining us. So there you go. Oh, the other Mr. Tom is gone. But we'll be out of here. We'll see you next week. And as I like to say, life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride, everyone. And we're out.